I'm not sure if you guys can see this or not, but just want to give you kind of an evaluation of the wind the way I see it right now through the binoculars. You can see all the waves. That's called Mirage, of course. To the naked eye, all we can see is some waves down there. Through the binoculars, the 15 times Swaros that I've got here, you can see a lot of movement. You've got some wind movement down there. You've got some Mirage. So let's start out with the basics. So I've got a chart that I go by when I'm trying to determine wind. And I'm just going to read it off to you, and we'll see what parts of this we can see downrange. All right, so if it's a weak occasional wind, that's 2 to 3 miles an hour. So is it just occasionally blowing down there? No, it's more than that. So we know that it's more than 2 to 3 miles per hour. How about a weak constant wind? Yeah, it's at least that. So if it's at least that, it's a 5 mile per hour wind. Plus we can feel it pretty easily, on my face right now. So we know it's at least 5. Can we see the direction of the wind? Yes, we can. If you look at the grasses beyond these two targets, the closer one in the camera here is 200 yards. The further one on the right side of the frame is 300 yards. And the grasses down there beyond that are moving. And you can see that it's a definite left to right. So the fact that I can see that means the wind is about 7 miles per hour down there. I don't think it's that much right here by me, because I just barely feel it on my skin. But down there, of course, the wind is different. And so I can tell the wind's blowing left to right because I can see the grass starting to lay over there. So that's a 7 mile per hour wind. Now, if it were constant and we could see that grass starting to lay down, we'd know that it's a 10 mile an hour, roughly a 10 mile an hour wind. It's not quite laying down, so it's less. So we've got two brackets, right? We've got a 5 mile an hour wind. We know it's at least that. And we know that it's not quite a 10, right? So we can bracket our wind based on that information when we're trying to figure out a shot. Now, the most important thing you want to look at is the Mirage. It's going to be super hard to see through the camera here, but that Mirage is in between a boil, which would be lines going straight up and down, and lines kind of angling up to, say, a 45 degrees up to the right, from left to right. This Mirage is more in that angling up at a 45 degree angle range. That tells me that the wind is approximately 7 miles per hour down there. So, based on my bracketing, say a 9 mile an hour max and a 5 mile an hour minimum on the target down there, I could do a favor left edge on my hold and be pretty assured to get a hit. And then I just want to watch the plate, see which way it moves, see if I can spot my impact, and I could adjust to center from there. Or, I could hold left edge and most likely still get a good solid hit and do the same thing. For me personally, with the round that I'm shooting, I know my margin of error. I would probably favor left on that small plate at the 300-yard line. Let me go ahead and do that for one shot and see what we get. All right, so you saw the impact there. That ended up being a good wind hold, favoring left edge. So our 7 mile per hour wind hold is a good wind hold for the remainder of those shots that are at least, plus or minus 100 yards of that target that we just shot at. The target on the left side of the screen is 400 yards. The target on the right side of the screen is 500 yards. We're going to go ahead and try our favor left hold and just see if our wind call holds true out across that levee. All right, so as you can see, we got hits on the 400-yard target and on the 500-yard target. Hopefully this helps you understand wind just a tiny bit better. I know this was a brief video today and just all from one angle, but I'm kind of in a hurry today, so to be honest, I apologize for that. Hey, if you haven't hit that subscribe button down below, sure would appreciate getting some more subscriptions. That helps me a ton. Also, if you guys could share the video. YouTube's analytics and their algorithm works best when people share directly from YouTube to their other social media platforms. That helps me a ton as well. And if you would consider a small donation reoccurring through Patreon, there's a link in the description below for that as well. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Tune in next week for another great video from the Precision Rifle Network.